all well.
Sir, can you reason if you are on back see sir?
As in Tori Yepenye.
Okay.
As in the sand. If you put this back, to me back in war, Yepenye ma yas in your pond. The other the Yakeja Balo. But Bush wines serve as a war bed. So Yepenye will be yeah. And they protected.
You know, some feed to the fish.
Okay.
But a very poorly made hut.
Okay.
We need something more decent than this, just to serve as protection against rainfall during this very dry season. I mean, rainy season. They are not being fed this morning, so they are looking for food. That's what happening now.
Okay. Wow.
How are you? How are you?
Ọ̀dọ̀ Michael kan mo ti rà. Michael. Náà ká sọ yé ni. Mo ti wá àmọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n ọ̀dọ̀ dáàdì mo dá sí. 1,000 mo rà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. 1,000 mo rà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ó kọ́ ẹja bàbá lọ́jọ́ yìí. Bàbá wa ní ẹja yìí fún òun lọ́jọ́ wa.
Ẹ bá mi kọ́ sí ẹ bá jẹ́ ká rí bọ́ ẹ má fẹ́ fọ́tò ẹja yẹn. Ẹ jọ.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, motivate.
Àwọn ilé kíkà ni mo feed wọn ni. But I've been feeding them by now. Àti yẹn hànà sí bíbá torí hybrid láti sí báyìí. I was sick, so I couldn't continue. I abandoned it and but all are gone. I had 1,000 here, infection, and that year's flooding also, everything combined, made everything to come to what we see here now. So, how does it go out?
I got it.
Protective. It's to protect predators entering into the pond and wasting your stock. Mainly is to, we have some birds that fly from above that can easily, pick
the fish.
Particularly when they are still small.
Okay.
The fingerlings, the juveniles, and a little bit above. Some birds can easily pick them up, and so you are at risk if they are not covered.
Okay.
And then you have alligators all around this place, and the snakes.
Okay.
So this is just to protect your stock from all these dangers. So that's essentially, and then of course it also takes care of flooding. Sometimes when you have too much water coming in, and the tendency is high for the fish to be flooded out, the net also serves as a boundary, as a protective hedge to prevent the flood carrying the fishes away. So that's one of the usefulness of the net. Particularly if it's a strong net. This archery. This is a pumping machine to supply water to the tanks that runs the artery. This is the artery, but it's very dark. You'll not be able to see anything much here. So I'm supposed to, when we do stock and then process the fingerlings that we produce to stock in the other ponds. They're very, very tiny now. So see, if you look at, you see inside, but you can't see it now because very, very tiny. You just hatched these ones, very, very tiny. You have thousands here now. You know, but if you look at this place, it's a very primitive. Yes, it's not the ideal place to raise the fingerlings and do the hatching and raise the fingerlings. It's not ideal, but then it's just being used as an improvised means to keep the business running. Yes, so we need something far much more ideal than this place, well built and a very suitable environment where the fish can be properly cultured. What we have here is not in any way ideal, but we make do with what we have. So we hope we can raise enough resources to have a better fish archery. Yeah, some fish there. It's very small. Okay, so outside the left. After a few weeks, those ones that are hatched here are brought in here for better development. Okay, float and enough for me. That's look at me saying, I'm going to go to my feet, my brain, go to my use of full spread it. But you have to look at it. So that the day enough, I take this spread it out. So that when you can look at them, sir, I can read it. I think I told you, I'm like what I'm going to my journey. Okay, I'm pushing them away. I'm Abraham Oluwafemi Jolayemi, or simply Abraham Jolayemi.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, can you just tell us how long you've been in this fishing business, sir?
Well, not too long. Barely less than 4 years now. 23 to 4 years. The process is a simple one, and at the same time, it requires some knowledge to be able to succeed in the art of fish rearing. Well, fish rearing begins with understanding what it takes to hatch, and then from hatching to develop to fingerlings, from fingerlings to juvenile, wherein you now take them for stocking. Once you are able to succeed with your hatching to stocking, then you begin to manage feeding the fish from day one, week 1, to the last week of harvesting, which is about 5 to 6 months duration. So, but essentially, what is important in fish farming is ability to ensure that your fishes are well fed. Not only being well fed, they are also the feeding. You have to understand the art of feeding, the technicalities that is involved in feeding the fish, to ensure that you get good returns. For instance, this kind of hatching pond we have here, whether it's hatching pond or concrete pond you have to also know what it means to sort your fish. Because sometimes a time comes to discover that some are feeding fatter than others. So at such periods, intermittently you find a way of sorting, removing the smaller ones from the bigger ones. Two things: the smaller ones will be able to feed among themselves better than when they are competing with the bigger ones. And in some cases, some species of fishes could be feeding on the smaller ones. So in order to prevent that and to ensure good harvest at the end of the day, you need to do constantly what we call sorting of the fishes from time to time.
Like that sorting situation, sir, it will take like how many months interval or how many weeks interval, sir?
Well, it depends on the growth of your stock fish. It depends on how quickly they grow. It could be like 2 months. When you have talked about 2 months, you may think of sorting.
Okay.
Yes, and before you're harvesting too, you may do another sorting. Yeah, so it depends on what you observe, you know. So that is the way it goes. So.
Thank you, sir. Can you just tell us the challenges that you people are facing, especially in this environment, in this?
Oh well, that's an interesting question. The challenges are, we have quite a number of challenges here. Of course, we have flooding challenge. When the rain is heavy, we have problem of flooding. Here, it's got that there are some ponds that are completely washed away during the time of heavy rain. Even when you have done your embankment, you still discover that sometimes the flood is so much that your embankment is washed off, and then you are not able to control that. And sometimes it happens in the night, so you can't come here to possibly stop the havoc. And even if it is in the day, you can't stand the way of the flood when it comes. Secondly, you also have the problem of predators, you know, like alligators, you know, crabs, and maybe human beings too, human pests. So, but to prevent these predators creating problem for you, what you do is we try to net the ponds. You use a very good net to prevent the predators from coming, particularly the alligators and some of these birds that are have sharp mouths, long mouths like that. They have a way of entering into the pond and feeding on your fish. So we try to prevent that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So what will be, as in, what do you see that the advantage or the word of encouragement for people that do this kind of work, sir? Oh
well, it's encouraging. You see, what's most important is to understand from day one. If you are hatching, you should know what it takes to hatch, and you should know the dangers that goes with hatching, the risk that goes with hatching. And of course, when you have stocked, you should also know the dangers that are involved, the risks that are involved. But by and large, fish farming is very profitable. Very profitable, particularly if you are able to take care of the feeding. That is the art of feeding. You should know how to feed your fish. Once you are able to do that with good skill, and you are able to raise your fish to about 0.8, 1 kg, 1 point something kg, in some cases 2 kg. By the time you're harvesting, you are sure to smile to the bank. Initially, you may have challenges, but as you persevere, over time, you make a good profit from your investment. It's an encouraging business, which energetic young men should be encouraged to come into. Particularly today in Nigeria, we are still very short in supply of the needed fish in the country. There's a shortfall in supply. We are not able to produce the quantity of fish that the Nigerian populace requires. Maybe presently we are able to produce about 1/3 of what Nigeria populace requires. Their protein requirement from fish, just about 1/3 of that is presently being produced in the country. That is why we still do a lot of importation of fish. Though presently the government is trying to stop that partially. But over time, they are trying to encourage more fish farmers so that we can be able to produce enough, sufficient to feed a populace of our country people.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Like, if help will comes now,
Right.
which area are you expecting support in?
Yes.
What to do?
You see, the help we would need essentially is funding. It's funding. You look at the archery the other time, you see that's an impoverished archery. That is not something you want to present anywhere. We make do with that because that's all we can afford, particularly in this kind of environment. Presently, I have a place in another town, another village, where I could raise about 60,000 tons per year. Right? To fund that area, I need a lot of money. You see, I need to renovate the place, put the place in order because it's been abandoned, and we need millions of naira to get to that, to be able to move to that side. That is at Okeosi. When you are going towards University Teaching Hospital, the village is ahead of University Teaching Hospital, so we have a place there, which we are planning to be able to move to as we have the funding. But even here, we need to do a lot of work here. During dry season, we have problem of water. We need to sink borehole and run over air tanks to be able to supply the
Water.
the ponds here with water, with adequate water. So all that takes a lot of money to do that. And you need to engage a number of young people. That's our own passion, to see that we create jobs for people. So that young men, school leavers, who also want to make some money before they further their education, even some elderly people who want to do some short-time jobs and they need money, they can also be engaged here. Once we have the required funding, we need people to do you can see what we are doing here. People have to help us with the harvesting. People have to help us with the digging of the ponds, the bagging, and all that. We have to do a lot of clearing from time to time because it's a very bushy environment. So it's funding essentially that we need. By God's grace, we have the skill, we have the know-how, but we need what I call cash power. So that's
Thank you, sir. So kindly tell us your name once again, sir.
My name is Abraham Oluwafemi Jolayemi, a preacher, and at the same time an entrepreneur, hoping to be able to create jobs for many. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So this is embankment in here, just to ensure that in case of heavy flooding, prevent that.